Hey everybody, thank you so much for clicking my channel. My name is Ciara LaShawn. If you've been rocking with me, you know that we're on this journey to healing from my time when I was in Yme Academy, but also not just healing, but just sharing what that experience was all about because a lot of you asked me to. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're not new, glad to see you again. Welcome back. But if you are new, I talk a lot about breastfeeding on my channel, motherhood. I do some like hair, lipstick tutorials, but right now I'm really doing a lot of content about my experience in Yme. So if you want to know more about the MLM experience, my Yme experience, make sure that you subscribe so you stay connected to all of my new updates. Today we're talking about the culture of Yme. In Yme Academy, you have to join under a sponsor. There's already a culture, there's already a group. So usually you have signed on with somebody introduced you to the business, so you signed on with them and they've introduced you to their group. More than likely, their group is just like my group because most of the groups are all the same. They all want to be like Trade House, which is like this super huge group in Yme. I don't know if they're still around or not, but they were when I was in the group. I wasn't in Trade House, but my leaders, they literally loved Trade House so much. They wanted to model a lot of the things that we did off of Trade House. This is probably going to sound a lot like your story. This stuff is hard. Like, it is a healing journey for me. And if you're watching this, it's probably a healing journey for you too. I know after I left Yme, I was searching on social media for all these different experiences of Yme because I wanted to make sure I was not alone, and that may be you. I don't know, is that you? Let me know in the comments below, what was the culture like in your group and what group were you a part of, if you don't mind sharing. And I understand if you do mind sharing because it's sensitive. These are people who you were friends with. These are people who you trusted and who you actually repped. You know, if you're in a group in Yme, you're repping your group. Like, I repped my group and I posted about them all the time. I thought I had the best group ever and I probably did, for what it's worth. I guess all good things have to come to an end, and there is a such thing as too much of a good thing, and that's really what we're going to talk about because I think that it was just too much. All in all, through everything I'm going to be sharing, you're going to realize that it was just a lot. It was overwhelming, not just overwhelming for me, but overwhelming for anybody. It's too much. The culture is heavy, it's thick, and it becomes to a point to where it has become its own cult. And I know that that word sounds kind of creepy, it sounds scary, but cult is derived from the word culture. And when something has such a thick culture, it can become very, very culty. And that's what it started to feel like. I want to talk about hustle culture because that is literally what was ingrained in us. It was so important from the moment you joined the group. And it's honestly probably something that we faced every single day. I wanted to take some time to actually define hustle culture. I guess this is like the first thing that pops up when you search hustle culture on Google. So a website that's called www.betterup.com. It says, what is hustle culture? Hustle culture, also known as burnout culture, centers around the idea that working long hours and sacrificing self-care are required in order to succeed. Working long hours, sacrificing self-care are required in order to succeed. The promise is that if you give work all of your attention, you can achieve anything and everything. That is so true in Yme. Oh my gosh. Is that something that you experience in your group? You gotta let me know. Like, seriously, if you're in Yme right now or were, what does that definition sound like to you? Working long hours? I don't know about you, but I had worked long hours. My group, we had a schedule of 12, 3, 5, and 9. Those were our trainings. That was our training schedule, 12, 3, 5, and 9. But wait, there's more. Because if you were a leader, you were also expected to be on 2 morning calls. So usually we had like an 8 a.m. call for leaders and then a 9 a.m. call for people who were just becoming leaders. So I was at the Platinum 2000 in my first 3 months. And as you get higher up in the company, you get invited to more meetings. Here I am meeting from 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and sometimes we even had 11. I mean, it's crazy. Whether you're a leader or not, you're expected to be on 12, 3, 5, and 9. And that's so ingrained in my mind. There's not much time to get anything else done in between. And then not only that, but then you have a 7 p.m. call, which wasn't a training. It was actually what we called an opportunity call that everybody was expected to be on. And what they are just calls you're supposed to bring a guest to. We're talking about what Yme Academy is and how it could make this person's life so much better if they join. And on Wednesdays is when we did Wisdom Wednesday. So you have 12, 3, 5, 9, and 10 for Wisdom Wednesday. And then y'all, we often had 11 p.m. calls as well. well. If you saw my last video, watch it after this, but my last video about Yme, I actually talked about how I first was introduced to the business by joining 12 a.m. calls. So 12 a.m. calls, you are tired. Why are we starting calls at 12 a.m.? Why? When you think about cult tactics, a lot of times cults want to like really wear you down, get you vulnerable. And maybe the people, you know, my leaders, that wasn't their intentions. They were just going by the book of what they were told to do. And you know, what they were told works, but they didn't know that the source of those teachings were, or maybe they did, but it seems like the source of those teachings were sources of manipulation, people who were really masters of manipulation, because it's actually a cult tactic that other cults practice, where they get a person to stay up really late, or they get a person so tired that they're so vulnerable and they're a lot more easily manipulated. And that's really what happened. So you had the hustle culture. So think about it, if you work, and I had people who joined under me who had jobs. Like I had people who were parents, I had people who had jobs, who had full-time jobs. I had a nurse anesthesiologist who was under me. I had attorneys, I had teachers, I had plenty of teachers, even a police officer. I had a wide range of people who were in my business. And I know these are just people who I think of off the top of my head. There were so many other great hard workers, like in real life hard workers, and they were expected to be on these 12, 3, 5, 9 calls. And then everyone's also expected to join 10 p.m. calls, Wisdom Wednesdays with our group leader. That's like no time. Hustle culture at its finest. What we're teaching is that this is not your schedule for one day. This is your schedule for every day of the week, and you are not to miss a call. My job as a leader, because I became a leader of 100 plus people, my job was to make sure that I communicated with these people every single day to make sure that they were on calls. Can you imagine calling 100 plus people to invite them to calls every single day? Every single day. Can you imagine being the person on the other side of that, like getting that call and you're at work? Like I had a girl in my business who worked at a bank, and I'm calling her while she's at the freaking bank working. And I'm like, hey, are you gonna get on this training that's at 12? Oh, I can't, I'm working. I'm like, put on your headphones, your AirPods or whatever. And you know, you got to do this because that's just a part of the business. Like if you want to succeed, you can't miss these calls. Yme is a trading company, a trading MLM. So these people sign up because they're thinking they're going to learn how to trade, but instead they're like on these calls that have nothing to do with trading, or if they do have anything to do with trading, they're usually like the most basic. They're not really teaching any fundamentals, any charts. We're really just teaching a trading plan. Seriously, we were teaching trading plans and how to set up your MetaTrader. That's the gist of our trading calls. My fiance Dante and I, we eventually started training, like hosting trainings, teaching some of the strategies, but we were only allowed to teach the strategies that were a part of the program. So Yme, like they created automated programs. So we were only able to teach how to use the program. So we're not technically teaching people how to trade. We're teaching them how to use the product. That's what it was called, the product that they're paying for. But they're really not learning how to trade, because if they stop paying for Yme, they don't have access to this product, so they're not actually learning how to trade, and they'd be kind of out of luck. But that's what we did. Honestly, I don't know why. I think it's just we got caught in that whirlwind of the culture, and it's something that we do regret. It's something that we always, like, we, from the bottom of my heart, if you were in our business, like, we regret it, but we love you, we appreciate you. If you were in our business, we owe you the world, because we brought you into something that was so damaging to us. So I know that it wasn't a good experience for you either, more than likely. But the hustle culture was wild. So like, for example, I talked about how Wisdom Wednesday, you have to be up at 10, which is a motivational call, because we did motivational calls like it was nobody's business in this business. I was looking back at some of my old screen recordings and stuff, and I really thought it was so crazy how easily manipulated we were. It is beyond me. It doesn't make any sense. If we're talking about hustle culture, let's talk about the fact that on Wisdom Wednesday, this is the type of stuff that we were expected to do. If this isn't hustle culture, I don't know what is. Like, but we did this thing for every single call. We would say OTC, OTC, OTC. If you were in our group, you know, if you've been in Yme, you know what OTC means. That's probably like just the worst thing to hear, because it's like so triggering, but OTC means on the call. And so we were in these group chats, and everybody would blow up the group chats whenever there was a call, which was pretty much every hour of the day. This is 10 p.m. at night on a Wednesday night, and people are blowing up this group group chat saying OTC, 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 because the leader is on video telling people, he's on the Zoom telling people, blow up the chat, OTC, OTC, start putting in your screenshots of me, take a screenshot. If I don't see a screenshot, if I don't see that you post a screenshot of me, I know you weren't on the call, take a screenshot of me and post it in the chat, send the screenshot to your friends, send the screenshot to your business, make sure you get people on this call. That is what we were told to do, and that's what we foolishly did. As you can see, like, we were literally saying OTC, sending screenshots of this call. It's humiliating, it's embarrassing, and it is hustle culture at its worst. When people are looking into IM, when you're trying to invite someone into IM, one of our big catchphrases that we say all the time is that it's something you can do on the side. It's not that difficult. You're gonna get signals sent straight to your phone. You don't have to know how to trade. You can learn if you want. We have programs to teach you how to trade. But then you join the business and it's not something you can do on the side. It's more than actually a full-time job. Not only that, but you are being blown up on your personal cell phone all day, all night, and you're being shamed if you don't log into these calls. If you blow an account, which you're more than likely gonna blow an account because they're gonna send you signals that aren't very good because they're not the best traders, because they're business builders, which is something you learn really quickly when you get into the business. These people are not professional traders. My leaders were not by any means professional traders. They didn't teach me a doggone thing about trading. They taught me about building a business. And you're going to learn that these people, that's what they care about, and that's what they're trying to encourage you to do, is keep building the business. So it's so deceiving when we're doing these opportunity calls and introducing these people to the business, because they're thinking, oh, I'm gonna learn how to trade, but actually when they join the business, they're being told that they have to get on this call, this call, this call, this call. If that's your experience, let me know in the comments below, because I know that was your experience. You have to be on this call, this call, this call. There's no break. And trust me, if you are a leader, it doesn't get any easier. They always say hustle your way to the top. You got to get to a certain level to where you don't have to work anymore, but that's actually false, because you keep growing, you actually have to work harder, because now you're having to lead trainings. Now you're having to be on more trainings, because mindset, they want to keep your mindset right, because if the top person leaves the business because their mindset says, oh, you know, this ain't for you, the whole business crumbles. They want your mindset right. So you're actually going to be so much more busy than ever before. Hustle culture is a big thing in this business. Another part of the hustle culture is that they tell you that there is nothing better that you could be doing than to be logged in to the business, building the business, being plugged in. There's nothing better to be doing than that. I have this screenshot. It's 11, and this is actually kind of hilarious, because if you look, it's a demo account, y'all. This is demo. Oh my God. Like, demo means not even real. It's not even a real account. And it drives me crazy that we actually thought we were doing something flexing with a demo. This demo has $1,000 in it, but it's not even a real account. If you were really making money and had like real results from this trading, then you would actually have your own $1,000, not a fake $1,000. So when you see these Forex traders posting screenshots of their account, pay attention to that, because it happens so much. I see it all the time. You see demo, and people are literally flexing, like making so much money tonight, making so much bank. But if you read it, it'll say demo. So this says demo. But what I wanted to say is, she says it's 11 p.m. If you're not making money with us tonight, what are you doing? You're darn right it's 11 p.m. If I'm not making money with you, I'm in the bed. I don't want to just call other people out, and I'm not. This is not the purpose, to call anyone out. That's why I'm not like calling names, I'm not sharing faces, I'm not doing any of that, because a lot of these people are my friends, and I think that we were just all deceived. But that doesn't mean that I can't share my experience. So I have posted this, and I'm gonna make fun of myself. I posted this quote: you'll watch an entire Netflix series even when the first couple episodes are slow, just because someone told you it gets better. But what if you looked at your goals the same way and watched your life get better? So icky. Sounds motivational. I probably got it from somebody's motivational page. I don't think I came up with that on my own. The hustle mindset, the hustle mentality, and the fact that I'm putting that on a graphic about my quote unquote mentorship, which mentorships are so fake. And I am, first of all, people call themselves mentors and they've only been trading for 2 weeks. That's the truth. Because that was me, and that was so many of my peers. That was my freaking leaders. Whoever signs you up, they're automatically a mentor. Like, they call themselves, I'm your mentor. And it's like, what qualifies someone as a mentor? just that they signed you up, boo. They don't have to know how to trade. And so I'm talking about mentorship. That's silly. So then we continue with this whole theme of hustle culture. If I haven't proved to you enough the fact that this is such a toxic piece of my group in IM and probably in most MLMs, my group tried to do a quote unquote tour called Hustle Girl Summer. And it's like this tour with all the women. My leader posted, "I feel like hustling this summer. My top leaders and I will be in a major city near you. The conversations you really need: wealth, freedom, abundance, and most importantly, why investing has to be a part of your game plan for this year. At the Hustle Girl Summer Tour, this summer is where we are going to meet and experience the highest version of ourselves." Comment below what city and state you're in. Whatever. Y'all, it's kind of crazy because we're saying that these are the conversations you need and why investing has to be a part of the game plan. And when I look at this picture, almost none of these girls, as a matter of fact, none of them, not even take out the almost, none of them, nobody pictured here is still in IM that I know of. Nobody pictured here still trades, still sees that as a viable option for success. Nobody. It's actually very, very sad because hustle culture catches up to you, and then one day you're gonna wake up and you're gonna realize that path and method to success, I lost more than I gained. And I thought that hustling my way through it, I was gonna gain so much. What I gained was so temporary, and now I'm empty. And that's sad. It's really sad. It's so crazy in hindsight looking back at it, but we always perpetuated this hustle culture, which I think is part of the reason that when I left, I had so much healing to do because I was dealing with guilt and shame, and not guilt and shame of not being successful because I did succeed in the business. But the problem is that it wasn't long-term success. It was like this roller coaster. And then when you come out of it, you realize that you lost so much more than what you came in with. Yes, you may have gained a little bit. Yeah, you gained some cash, but what's it really worth? Not everybody even gains the cash. So some people it's really a huge loss. But like me, I gained some cash, but like the loss of relationships, the loss of time with family, because I was so into hustling so much. My sister was 8 years old and she wanted to play. She wanted to hang out with me. And every time she would reach out to me to play and hang out, I'm working. I'm on the call. I'm on Zoom. I can't hang out with you. And she literally used to cry because I couldn't play with her. It sucks. Like when you look at that stuff in hindsight and you're like, wow, I missed so much. In IM, we did not count the cost. We did not teach people to count the cost. We deceived the cost, honestly. We were not forthcoming with the cost of the hustle. You can win. Yeah, some people do win in IM, but it costs a lot. Costs a lot mentally, costs a lot in relationships. It can cost you your integrity. So there's some messiness that goes on, and the hustle is not worth it. The hustle is not worth the cost. So let's move on to mindset, which is a huge thing in all MLMs. Mindset.